Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory. We're about to take a dive into the lore of Destiny the game. Specifically, we'll be giving a high-level scrutiny to popular, emerging, and outlying theories, then judging them. With that out of the way, let's put on our Spinfoil hats and get a little crazy. Here comes this week's show. Record is live.
We are recording live in front of a studio audience. Okay.
That would be a funny thing to do one day. If we were ever in a position to do it live, I think that would be fun.
That would be pretty funny. I don't know if we'll ever do that. But that sounds funny.
I feel like we could do it. Maybe someday at GCX.
That'd be
Let's
funny.
do our own little panel. Ugh. Someday.
Indeed.
Oh man. Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory podcast, everyone. We're your hosts. This is LadyLucida, and with me as always is LadyLucida. How are you doing this week, Lucy?
Doing all right. Just kind of basking in the sun, working on my summer tan. Just kidding. I get sunburned very, very too much. So, more like staying inside and playing video. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
No one's
this week.
confirmed of cancers forming from staying inside too much and playing video games.
Yes.
But getting too much sun? Just saying.
Yeah. True.
Sorry, you were saying though?
No. This week it's just been kind of chilling. Like nothing too crazy happened. I mean, just vibing, I guess. Chilling like a villain. Because I'm not a villain, so am I really chilling? No idea.
It's true.
Just finishing up Solstice. Doing Grandmasters. Just kind of chilling, I guess.
I can dig it. I've been, I haven't really played much Destiny this week, because there's, just not a lot of, that fresh lore content. I think we pretty much covered all anything that was new last week, but I do want to get in and maybe try and finish out that Flamekeeper title.
Yeah, all I have left to do is get the PvP kills, and I'm so annoyed because that Triumph is character based, not account based, and I'm much better at PvP on my Warlock than I am my Hunter, and I went into PvP as my Warlock, and first of all, I realized I hadn't even done the quest on my Warlock, so I didn't even have the armor. I didn't have anything. I was going through thinking like, oh, it's just to get kills in PvP while Solstice. I'm like, then I did a match, and I'm like, why isn't my thing going up? Oh no, this is not good. Why is this happening? So I was very sad, and then I realized I need to be on my Hunter. So I'm gonna go back into Clash, or what? Yeah, Clash is probably the best, and just do my last 25 kills, and then I'll have I already have the seal because of the gilding triumphs, but once the seal goes away, the gilding triumphs go away, and then they will take away the seal. So you'll lose the seal if you complete the gilding before actually doing the seal. No more.
Oh,
seal.
interesting.
Yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen when Unbroken goes away. If you hadn't actually gotten regular Unbroken, but you got some of the gilding triumphs and that gave you Unbroken, that doesn't count.
You have an asterisk next to your Unbroken title?
Pretty much, a little asterisk. It's no.
Oh man. Okay. I can dig it. Yeah, that's a good reason to get back in there then. Especially to see, we have the time this comes out, we'll have a little over a week left. So if you haven't done it yet, there's still time for you. There's still hope.
There's still hope. You can get your things.
But if you're taking a break, that's okay too. There's without getting into it, there's just been a lot of there's been a lot going on in the Destiny community, and it's okay to take a break from it or from the game. Yeah. There is, yeah. So, speaking of this season, season of Haunted, I think we're ready to close out on it.
You think so?
Do some final thoughts. Yeah, I think.
All right.
I think I think we're ready to do that. So, everyone, what we're going to be doing today is it's going to be sort of final thoughts, closing out, reflections, and just general like pats on the back if we
we got stuff right. Yeah.
So,
Did we get stuff right? I don't know.
Time will tell. It already has, but it's got. So with that, I can get the ball rolling. This season kind of started, I would say story-wise, like when it officially became not last season anymore, is with the return of the Leviathan to the system.
Yes, the Leviathan, which I guess more veteran Guardians would know the story of that. I guess if you had played...
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
It's not the story the Jedi would tell. No, I mean, like, if you have been playing since the beginning of D2, you know what the Leviathan is. It's Callus's ship, big party ship. Well, it used to be his party ship. Well, actually,
before that, it was his party prison.
But yeah, before that, it was his prison, and then he broke out of it, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna have a party. Screw you guys." So he turns it into a party ship. Little confetti. He gives everyone all of the scions and all of his little guys party hats. It's little party hats.
True.
Gives them confetti. Those little what are those things that it like makes the noise and it's like you go and it's like in your mouth. It goes like a kazoo. I don't know what it's called.
A kazoo. Oh, I know what you mean. The little guys that like it's like shooting your tongue out.
Yes, whatever those are. I'm blanking on the name. Those things. Just give all of the legionaries those. The scions, they get little party hats. It's a big party. You know, they're having a party now. The party happened after Callus takes his ship. Because, you know, he got exiled from the Cabal because he was basically the Emperor. He was the Emperor. And a lot of people didn't like how Callus was... he was a bad leader. He was like, yo, we can just chill, man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Everything's fine. He's like, it's cool. Just relax. Everything's great. Everything's great. Everything's great. Spoiler alert. Everything was not great. But
narrator.
The narrator was like, everything was not great. And, like, Keitel even realized that as when she was growing up. It's like, Callus made everything seem, though everything's fine, everything's great. But it wasn't. Everything was kind of going bad. So, Keitel and Gaul, if you remember him from the beginning of D2, and the Consul, and a bunch of other conspirators, hatched this plan to kick Callus out. So they overthrew him in the middle of the night, hence the midnight coup. That's a hand cannon you could have got. So they overthrew him. Gaul was gonna, like, chop off his head, execute Callus, but Keitel said, no, don't do it. It's my dad. I love him. So Gaul's like, fine, we'll just put him in the ship. The Leviathan ship, his stupid ship. I don't care. We're gonna point it in a direction really, really far away, and it's just gonna go that way forever. Who cares? And it went, and went, and went, and went. And the whole time, Callus was in prison, basically, in the Leviathan, just crying. Wah, depression, wah, depression. Just having a bad time. And then the ship reaches the edge of the universe. That means that ship's going pretty fast, if you think about it. It's a really fast ship. So maybe it wasn't that long. Who knows? It goes, and it reaches the edge of the universe, and Callus is like, why'd we stop? So he goes in and investigates, and he meets the darkness, capital D darkness, witness. The guy who we saw at the end of Witch Queen. Well, they saw Callus met the darkness. The darkness was like, yo, you're cool. Not really. You're kind of cringe. This is my plan. I bet the witness literally just like they started evil monologuing the whole time. Just like, this is my plan. Explains the whole plan. Callus is like,
hear me out.
Callus is just like clapping like, yo, this is the greatest plan I have ever seen. I love it. This is awesome. And then Callus gets back to his ship and he's like, all right, guys, change of plan. We're going to commandeer it. We're going to take control of it now. It's not going to go this way. We're gonna
You know
make it
how
go.
I imagine that scene?
What?
When he's talking to the witness for the first time, like the voice beyond. It's like in you played Portal 2.
Uh-huh.
When GLaDOS is hearing Cave Johnson.
Yes.
Like, and kind of like remembering who she used to be, and he's just like, "What? You don't give Cave Johnson melons? I want to see the manager of life. Like, what the hell with these melons?" And she's just in the background, like, "Yeah, fuck the melons." Like, that's how I imagine the witness is just going off about like how he finally like sees you, he witnesses you, which means a hell of a lot to a cabal.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it was. Just imagine Callus being like, yeah, fuck those guys. I'm gonna be the last one.
Yeah. So basically, Callus gets so inspired by the witness that he's like, you know what? I like what the witness is doing with those disciples. He's like little entourage army. I want to do that for me. I want to have my own disciples. But he doesn't want to like copy. He doesn't want to like. He's like copying the witness's homework, but like changing some things so he doesn't know, you know? So instead of calling them disciples, he calls them shadows. And instead of like, you know, bringing about the end of the universe, he's like, you know what, we're first gonna go after revenge. Because I'm angry at the people who betrayed me. I hate them so much. So he goes to Leviathan and he kind of points a gun at people and says, "You're gonna help me or I'm gonna blow up your home planet." And they're like, "Oh shit, okay. We don't have a choice." And then he blows up their home planet anyways, and he's like, "Haha, suckers." Like, whoops. He's like, "Whoops, my bad. I accidentally blew up your home planet. Guess you're stuck with me now." How could... Yeah, you could literally do the meme of Callus with the Reese... I think it was... I don't want to say it's the Reese... The Eclipse. The Eclipse. He's like, "Work with me, or else I will blow up your home planet." Oh no! How could that have happened? I don't know. Your planet just blew up on its own. I don't know. So he gets all
get revenge together.
Exactly. See, now we have to get revenge. It's not me. It's the bad guy. It's the Cabal. So he gets all of his shadows, and he sends them on like stealth assassin missions, and they go back to Tortobottle, and they go pew, and they kill people, and almost all of them are dead. He didn't kill Keitel. I mean, he sent an assassin after Keitel, but Keitel just kills him because she's strong. She doesn't need. She's like, "You puny assassin, you can't do anything." So I think Callus probably sent a weak assassin to kill Keitel, probably on purpose. I think so, because as we've seen, especially in the Duality Dungeon, Callus still loves Keitel. So, like, I feel like he was all caught up in this, like, revenge, like, haze for a bit, but I think deep down he didn't actually want to kill Keitel. Still, now he doesn't really want to, but he feels like he has to. At least that's how I view it. Right now, at least. I
think...
Because the whole Duality Dungeon was him, like... Because the final boss is Keitel, and literally, like, if you listen to, like, the little lore things throughout it, he's all like, I don't... Especially the last one, he's like, he knows what he has to. He's like, I can't kill her. I can't do it. Like, it makes me so sad. But oh well. So Callus sends all of his assassins out to kill most of the conspirators, except Gaul, the consul, and I guess Keitel's still alive at this point. I mean, she's still alive. Not at this point. She's not dead. Why'd I say at this point? I meant Gaul and consul dead, alive at this point. Keitel is still alive. She's fine. She doesn't die. Unless the version of Keitel we've been talking to this whole time is a clone. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Oh.
I mean, you were talking about that maybe being a theory that this is the fake Keitel.
Yeah, you know, if she was already dead and we're viewing her as a nightmare in all times, that would be... Well, it'd be interesting because the nightmares don't have to be of someone who's dead.
Yeah.
And, like, this... And what this theory goes on is that like the Keitel that we fight in that nightmare, it's bigger than Keitel is.
Yeah.
It's bigger than Keitel when she stands next to us in any cutscene or any time we've ever gotten to like walk up next to her, like kind of see her to scale. And she has a lot more. Her armor's different. Now, I've kind of theorized that this might be her maybe at her apex, like when she overthrew him. Have just been training all day, doing gladiatorial stuff, being a badass pilot, and stuff like that. But then it would kind of come down to her being a clone, because what's a piece of technology that Callus has had, and I guess by extension the Cabal, because I don't think it's just something he has, but like it's something that like they can do, which is clone.
Yeah, the Cabal are very good at cloning.
So it just makes me wonder, because if it turned out they did need to be dead.
I mean, no, we've seen like nightmares. I mean, there's nightmares of in the Trials lore. There's a nightmare of the Warlock who went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and started killing Stasis people. Reed and Ashura, when they were on the moon, they got a nightmare of her, but she was not dead. She was in prison. So that you can have nightmares of people who are still alive.
Oh, that's true.
I just think that's interesting.
Well, it is interesting, and it would be interesting to see if something came of that, just to explain the sort of difference in how they're presented. Now, granted, it could be for any number of like easily explained reasons, but it would. I always think it'd be interesting because there does sometimes seem to be a gap.
Yeah, as we've seen, nightmares are trauma, basically. And a very large source of most people's trauma is death. Like, their friend dies. Their lover dies. Their mentor dies, Like, it makes sense that most of them are dead for nightmares. But as we've seen, there are nightmares of people who are alive because, as we've seen with the Trials fire, that's a lot of trauma right there. Like, for sure. That's something we forgot to do was a revisit to what happened. Did we do a revisit to Shayra and Ashura and Reed? Because they got some new lore this season with the Trials armor.
We can add that to the list. I don't think we've done a revisit.
We can do that. We can do that as a filler for next week or something.
I like it.
Or who knows?
I like it.
We can do it. We can squeeze it in somewhere. We have time between now and the showcase.
Make it work. I can dig it. Okay. So, going from there, and just to round that off, it would be interesting because there do seem to be some gaps between what happens in that note where Keitel is overthrown and or not where Keitel is attempted to be assassinated.
Yeah.
Callus is overthrown after Callus is overthrown, and what happens up until the fall of Torbottle.
Yeah, the fall of Torbottle. Yeah, there's a big
gap there that they don't really talk about, and when they do talk about it, they don't talk about her. She tells you about other people. Like Umunarath.
Yes.
Her mentor. And Zivu. Do they both have the same last name?
Yes, they do. Amun-Arath and then Zivu-Arath. That's odd.
I never noticed that before. Yeah. I guess it's maybe not a last name in the Cabal. I think there's like an apostrophe there, but I don't know how their names work. So, okay, might be. So, we gotta have a couple things happening with Callus at this point in the story. He's come back. Because this is about that time after he tries to assassinate them, that the Red Legion and Gaul break off from Torbottle. Speaking of that gap.
Yeah.
And I guess the Leviathan wasn't in their home system really at the time, because that would have been, yeah, because otherwise, like, it wouldn't have been a stealth mission. They would have seen that thing coming like a mile away. So he probably was like just outside, or maybe at like the edges of it, because like there's no like, oh shit, here comes the Leviathan, watch out, what's it doing back here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Ace Defiant, they're who fly them in.
Indeed.
On whatever ship that they use to get back into Tor Bottle. So after that, the Red War takes place. You're at the beginning of D2 now. And what's interesting to know is that the overthrowing of him and his assassination attempt, that happens after the end of D1, because the last thing we hear about Tor Bottle and the Emperor is in D1 in the last DLC, Wrath of the Machine, that came out, not in that raid, but there's a new scannable that is on Earth during one of those missions, and you can scan it, and it says like there's a transmission going directly to the Emperor. So there's a couple possibilities there. Time dilation, it's already happened, and the Cabal that are already on Earth don't know about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It happened a lot quicker than we thought, like in a shorter time span than maybe we thought, or it's already happened, and for whatever reason, the Cabal in the solar system did not know about it yet.
Yeah.
So kind of one of those things. And so when the Red Legion shows up in D2, there's actually a few missions where they're like reabsorbing their army.
Yep. They're like, hey, you're coming with us now. Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, we're going to go overthrow the last city. Want to come?
Pretty much.
So, forgive me, anyone who is Kiwi and listening to the show. I'm so sorry to butcher that joke. But so they most of them reabsorb. Not all of them do. Some of even those guys stay loyal to the Emperor, kind of like keep doing their own thing for a little while there. But eventually they're all signed up. And then that force, as it approaches Earth and the last city, comes in and, well, I don't need to go into the Red War, but long story short, Red War happened, and then the Red Legion dead.
Yes.
Or the Red Legion's like, it's got its mortal wound. I wouldn't say it's completely dead yet. And then here comes your boy Callus.
Callus is like, sup, I have arrived.
Mm-hmm. And if you got the special edition, you were actually aware of the Emperor before his arrival. Yes. Or like the legendary or special or collector's edition. Because I remember for that one they had more than one that had
there's
lore stuff in
versions,
it. Yeah. But that but that was like your first taste, and you read about all the people on like the Emperor's hit list, and some of them you meet in games, some of them you don't. Some of them you only read about. Some of them are still back on Tor Bottle, as far as you know, or I guess as far as he knows. Mm-hmm. And he comes in, and he's just like, oh, dude, Guardian, come to my Leviathan. It's time for something a little different. And that, that kicks off your first real interaction with Callus in his timeline as the Guardian. If you were playing back then, you just have this wacky dude who like shows up. Everything is gold and purple and shiny, and he is just like hanging out, laughing, and preparing games for you to play on his gigantic, what you think of back then, his gigantic pleasure ship known as the Leviathan.
He's like, yo, I'm here. What's up?
Yeah, what, nothing could go wrong, guy. I'm just hanging out. Ugh. But yeah. And then the Leviathan is attacked by, God, I forget what order is it. Is it the Vex first? Yeah, and then comes Spire?
Yes, because it's Eater of Worlds first. Because at the time, the Leviathan was over Nessus, which is a Vex world, and it was eating Nessus. Nom 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 nom. Yum yum yum. And while it was eating Nessus, it accidentally ate a Vex mind, and Vex mind's like a Vex Axis mind, and those are like the big, heavy lifter, like big, super smart, super strong Vex. And it kind of got stuck in the engine, in the mouth of the Leviathan. So Callus was like, I'm having a little bit of a engine problems, Guardian. Can you come maybe look at this? And what's really interesting is if you actually, well, in the voice lines for the game, in the audio files for the game, there is a version where Callus actually, if you had done the Leviathan raid before doing Eater of Worlds, Callus would be like, oh guys, stop, don't shoot them. This is my homie, they helped me out earlier. Yo, we got an engine problem, you're gonna fix it, right? Right. Cool beans. And then there's the one that we hear in game, which is the, I've never met this Guardian before. Hey, can you help me with my engine problem? Cool. Yeah.
And then after that, he does that up until the Season of Opulence, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah, up until Opulence. No, because
then he comes up and he's got some new games.
Actually, because that's Spire Stars. Oh, no, that's Eater. Then we have Spire, which is the Red Legion, now with Gaul dead. They're like, alright, let's go take the Leviathan. So they try to take the Leviathan, and we stop them. Because Callus is like, hey, homies, you guys are now my best friends, so you gotta kick these guys off the ship. They're not welcome. They don't have an invite to our party. They don't have that invite, so you gotta be bouncer. You gotta be a bouncer today and kick them off. So we did that. And then Callus kind of doesn't really do much, he's kind of just chilling. And then a Season of Opulence happens where he's like, come back to the Leviathan, I've missed you guys. I've missed you guys so much. Here you go, I have more presents. And it's all these menagerie to get us to come back to the Leviathan and chase after shiny things. And Callus also, because he considers us his shadow, well, Guardian, he considers Guardians his shadow, one of his shadows, which remember, that's like his elite assassin people. He wants the Guardians to be assassins, but he's like, you know what? I don't have a shadow of the Hive. I had to get one. So he tries using the Hive, like, alright, do my bidding. And the Hive are just like, nah, man. Go fuck yourself. Like, nah, man. We don't want to work for you. Are you Oryx? No, go away. Like, they don't want to listen to him. So he's like, alright, I got a new idea. He had this hive relic called the Crown of Sorrow. He's like, alright, I got this Crown of Sorrow. I'm gonna make a clone. I'm gonna call him Galeron. And I'm gonna put this hive relic on Galeron. And then he will use the crown to control the hive. Yeah, that didn't work. It backfired. Horribly. So he calls us, and Callus calls us. He's like, guys, I put a hive relic on one of my sword guys, and now he's running around the menagerie blowing stuff up. Can you please come help? Like, you can just see him just crying, eating ice cream, just like, why is this happening? As he's watching on the monitors, as he watches Galeron just blow everything up. So, Guardians, stop Galeron, do the menagerie, become shadows to Callus. Callus is like, everything's great. Everything's great.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
This is fine.
Yeah. That's basically... And then the darkness shows up, and Callus gets mad that the darkness ignores him. And then he cries. And then he tries to be like, yo, I will get the darkness's attention, whatever it takes. And now, that's what he's trying to do now. He's like, notice me, darkness, notice me. He's like one of those really bad animes where they're like, senpai, notice me, senpai. And senpai's just not noticing them. Just they like the other girl, and Callus is just in the bathroom crying again, eating ice cream. He's like, why won't senpai witness? Why won't he notice me? As he's just crying in the corner eating ice cream. It's got to be grape ice cream because the royal wine is purple. But yeah. So Callus has been here a really long time, and we've always cleaned up after him, basically. It's the TLDR of that. And now we're doing it again. Can we stop cleaning up after Callus, for the love of God? I'm tired of this.
Yeah, the Sorry Bear, especially like when you get to that part of his story.
Here in the Soul System, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Because like it's like from where we are now, you realize that was a kind of like genius move. I don't think the person who gave him the crown, Asafathun, kind of expected from him.
Really?
I don't think she expected him to put it on a clone.
Nah, I think she wanted him to put it on himself.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted
and she like
him
had
to
it
wear
specifically tailored for him, and then he was like, "Okay, but I've got this draw 2 card."
I've got this, I've got this extra card, which means I can spawn a clone. And she's like, what? You can't do that. And he's like, I'm doing it anyways.
You've activated my trap card.
You've activated my trap card. Alakablam! Clone! Clone will wear the hat. And she's like, no, you're supposed to wear the hat and become evil. And become my slave.
What? No.
Yeah. I just think that part's always funny, because I can picture Savathun and think, all right, I have left the crown of sorrow on this planet, and look, Callus now has it, and he's going to wear it on his head like an idiot, right? Right? No, he doesn't. And she's just like, no, my plans. They're foiled.
I'm just imagining her sitting there like the whole time with her, however she like learns her secrets, like whatever spy networks or like people that she does like trick.
Yeah.
It gets manipulates, and then she's just like, really nobody knew he could just clone stuff.
Nobody
WTF,
thought to
guys.
let me know.
WTF.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So Callus is a megalomaniac, obsessed, crazy person, as we've seen. And he is also a narcissist. Can't forget that. He's a poo-poo head. I used to think he was cool, but now that I'm like, I don't think he's cool anymore. I don't like you, Callus. You have been...
I like his character. Even if he's a bad guy. Like, yeah, he's a great, like, just sort of random third party.
I love, like, his... definitely, for sure. Because it's just... He's very much like, I do what I want. I'm fancy. Love me. Mm-hmm. That's literally Callus in a nutshell. And it's so funny. But yes...
He is a much smarter dude than
people give credit for. Yeah, that's definitely true.
And so he does that, and he really digs into the Guardian as well, because Season of Opulence, we get our own little private room, which is the room now that you enter in the dungeon, the duality dungeon. Yeah, and he had his own like special little proto statue.
Yeah.
Proto-robot.
Yeah, that's right. It was the tribute hall. Yes, he made a little tribute hall for us. Like, see, look at all the things you have accomplished, and it's goals, and it's cool, and it's awesome. Because you're awesome, because I made you awesome, because you're mine. Like, that's literally Callus. He's like, mine. He's greed. He's literally the embodiment of greed and narcissism. It's great.
And another thing I found interesting there is we never really questioned it at the time. But Duality isn't the first dungeon that we entered in there from. The first one was when we got the bad juju.
I totally forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah. He had it there like on display, and then we go into the Ascendant Realm.
And we're like, this is ours now.
Carve it back. Yeah. Basically like carve our way to it and bring it back.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, how did he even get it? So there's another one. You
How
know
did
who
he
else
get
we
there?
haven't seen in a while? That you know what that reminds me of?
Toland?
Yep. We haven't seen Toland in a real long time. God, I feel like the last time we really saw him was when I feel like switched to the season model because he was running around the moon.
Mm-hmm.
When the Vex were coming in.
Yeah.
So, always. Huh. And there's been other times where people are like, oh, yeah, this is Toland just because it's like a spark that you can follow. But, you know, if doing that is a trick that Toland learned, I'm not convinced all sparks are Toland.
True.
The ones that speak to you as Toland, I think, are Toland.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
No. I just think that's fun. I mean, like, do you think, like, in King's Fall, do you think that was Toland? Or was that Mara?
I don't think it was Mara. I think Toland's trick is a one-way trip. I don't think Mara could go... If Mara had ascended to the point that she became disembodied energy, I don't think she'd be back with us right now in her body.
Well, yeah. Well, no, because that was the part where she was in Oryx's throne. Because she was basically trapped in Oryx's throne after the beginning of Taken King. And then...
I thought she was in her own throne world.
No, she had to cross the Sea of Screams from Oryx's throne world to get back to hers. And then when she got there, Oryx had already, like, ransacked it.
Oh, so you're saying, like, when her and the Techians explode in Taken King, she starts off at that end of the Ascendant Plane.
And she has to go...
And then makes her way... Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in the Reverie Dawn lore, basically that part.
Roger. I guess, yeah, I skipped that part in my head.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just... Some people think that glowing orb was Toland. Some people say it's Mara. And I'm like, I don't know who it is.
I think from back then, I think it's more likely to be Toland.
Yeah, I think so.
Is the way I would lean. We should do a follow-up on Toland, too. We can add that to the list. Investigations into where could Toland be? Where in the world is Toland San Diego?
Where in the world is Toland? Oh, no.
Oh, man, if anyone who's a fan and can doodle wants to do a Where in the World is Toland San Diego, we will pimp it. we will wear it. But yeah, sorry to get sidetracked on Toland, but that just talking about all that reminded me. So then something really interesting happens with Callus, getting us back on track here. He just, it's really interesting. He had stepped up his game. He had even expanded his operations in the Sol system because he was actually down on Nessus. He had a barge down there.
Yes.
Where, not Werner, but the other one. The one who wasn't Werner. One of his other spy bots.
Yes. Benedict?
I think so. I don't remember which one.
I think it's Benedict.
Yeah. Or maybe that one was Werner and Benedict's the other one.
Who knows?
Yeah. Down there as a place for us to just sort of like in the field, collect rewards. And that gets abandoned.
Yep.
And the Leviathan, this big ass fucking space boat, gone. But it's not it's not like we don't know what he's doing. We do know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's gone aboard the Glycon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's found... So, here's an interesting one. Do you think the egregore is something Callus figured out he could control? Or do you think that is an extension of what Callus is now?
I think he found it.
On the other side? On the Ascendant Plane?
Mm-hmm. Because we've seen that sort of exact same growth on the Drifter's ship.
Yep. That is true.
The Drifter hangs out and there does, especially with his fake taken, So he hangs out in the Ascendant Plane a lot, so.
Yeah, thanks to the 9.
Indeed.
Which, what have the 9 been up to? That's another one.
No
Maybe
one
they're
knows.
partying with Toland.
They're probably all partying with Toland.
just having a party with Toland. not letting the emissary hang out with Drifter. Oh, I just made myself sad. So the events of the Glycon, you have, and these are pretty recent, so this might be in a newer Guardian's memory, but you basically have this experiment with Callus and a further experiment of the Crown of Sorrows, but this time he's using it again without wearing it because now he's got the egregore. Now this time he's using it to, in an attempt to try to like wrest control or create like one solid mind for the Scorn. To sort of like bring them in line, because what they kind of were at that point, especially with Fickrell, I think at that point in the story that season, Fickrell had finally been like pushed away.
Yes.
He was no longer in that eternal like strike. Or gone into hiding. Either way, Fickrell's kind of out of the picture now. I don't think he's dead. But so each time for most of the Scorn, I think all the Scorn maybe, each time they die, they lose a bit of themselves and they become more and more part of the hive mind. And what he's done is he's just like, he's experimented on the Scorn through the egregore and stuff, and basically, if I recall the scene correctly, when you read and hear about it, it was like this cacophony of screams and like wailing and just sort of like primal instinct. And he scienced it, experimented on it, pushed it enough until one voice came out at the end. Although that voice was still kind of screaming.
Yes. Mostly screaming.
Yeah. And through that, he goes and, like, through that process, he's able to take what he's gained, with the darkness power that he's gained from sort of putting the Scorn into a collective, plus the Crown of Sorrows. He uses that to ascend again. And this time, on the other side, the Witness is waiting for him. Doesn't just kind of happen upon him. At least, like, it seems a lot more purposeful. And I think, one of my theories is I think he delivered the Scorn to them, to the Witness. So here you go, buddy. Tribute time.
Pretty much.
I've collected this failed experiment, these Elixir, you don't know what they're doing. Here you go. 1 discipleship, please. And then that kind of brings us to where we entered in that season aboard the Glycon. There was what was left between the egregore and the Scorn destroyed everyone else once he left the ship.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Or like maybe consumed is a better, not like eaten, consumed, but you know what I mean? Like swallowed.
Yeah, like a more swallowed, consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Absorbed, maybe.
Yeah. And we go in, we investigate it, and we're like, oh shit, that bad. That's real bad. But we kind of pump the brakes on that one, because, then Savathun comes and all the events of Witch Queen. But during that same release time, the season that went along with that, we learned that Callus has been trying to consolidate his armies again. He's been using clone technology and defectors from Kydal to take these different bases. Was it Fire-based Delphi, I think it was?
I think, yes.
And, we go in a few weeks and we investigate, we try to figure out how he's doing this, and we basically lead right into this season through that investigation. And it's like, oh, like he's consolidating power. He's about to make some moves. And then lo and behold, here he is making those moves. You come into this season, the Leviathan comes back, but now the Leviathan is just all infested with the egregore. But like the egregore is an extension of Callus, and he says a lot of weird stuff about you. Fighting inside of him and whatnot. And we set out to stop him. And the thing I really found the most interesting about this past season is we did, and I've said this before when we talked about the closeout a couple episodes ago, but we did like we succeeded in every mission we did. He still won. He still got what he set out to do. He distracted us long enough to where he could basically put himself on that pyramid ship in the moon.
I mean, he saw it empty, he's like, free real estate.
No one's using it.
No one's using it. This is my final test to finally be noticed by Senpai Witness. I'm just going to call him that from now on. Like, the witness will no longer scare me anymore because I'm just going to put an anime filter on his face.
I mean, there is an opening in his clique at the popular girls table.
There is.
He's missing a disciple.
I'm just saying, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Although, like, one thing that doesn't... I know, like, one big thing is, like, you aren't given stuff.
You must take it.
Like, you're supposed to go, like, take it for yourself. And so I wonder, like, is the witness, like, after he gets the score and like, yeah, that's great. Okay, bye.
Like, the witness is like, okay, cool. I'm glad you're doing that. Just keep the Guardians busy. Yes, do that. Keep them busy while I do my evil plan, whatever the hell that is. Like, we don't know.
Hey, so what about this ship over here in the... Yeah, I don't care about that ship. You do what you want. I'm not using it. You can have it. It's a little one. That's fine. Because it's what's funny to me is why does he go for that one and not Rolks?
That's a good point. Like, why does he go for Rolks or
any of the others?
There's the one on Europa, right?
There is one on Europa, and there's also the Ziggurat on Europa, which seems to connect to another one.
Yeah. I thought that just connected to the one on Europa.
That could be the same one. I don't know. Because the one on Europa is kind of like in the Europa.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of... Or it seems to be how I interpreted the structure. I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I guess it could be that one. And then there's however many that are just like in the system. Like he goes for the one. Yeah. Okay. Wild theory time. What if he's doing all this without the witness's permission either?
Oh no! So he's like, fine. I'll make the witness notice me. I'll take this pyramid. I'm gonna take this pyramid right here. It's mine now. Then the witness will notice me, right? And the witness is just like the witness is playing some like 5-dimensional chess with time travel against the traveler. And it's like, okay, I gotta do this and this and this, and then take this chess piece here and put it here. But because I can do time travel, I can like, who knows what the fuck the witness is doing? Like, we don't know. Like they're doing some like 5-dimensional chess. Giga brain planning. I mean, have you seen how many heads the witness has? It's like giga brain. It's got to be super smart. I'm making a joke, but meanwhile, Callus is just like sneaking in the room, grabbing a chest piece, and I'm just like, "Oh, help! Let me help!" Boop, and the witness is like, "What the fuck are you doing?
So,
what are you doing?"
Yeah, like I like what if because think about it, right? What's the difference between the one in the moon, and all the others?
It's in the moon.
It's closest to the traveler.
It is, and it's maybe the witness put it there on purpose. It's like a
either that or maybe it's still there because he can't move it.
Yeah, or maybe he left it there as like almost like a big camera to keep an eye on the traveler. To be like, I'm watching you.
A monitor.
Yeah, I'm watching you, traveler. I'm watching you.
I still think Crota Crota was in charge of it. I think that was. I'm starting to really think that was Crota's ship.
You think that was Crota's pyramid? You think the witness? I just think that's funny that the witness is like, Oryx, my man. Nah, you're not a disciple. Your son, Crota, though, he's a Giga Chad. He gets a pyramid. I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
Well, he's kind of talked about it though. He's talked about how Oryx rejected it and that how the hive siblings were imperfect in that they typically looked out for each other.
Yeah, but Crota
which goes against like the primary teaching, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Rolk who was talking about this is like why they suck.
Yes.
Because Rolk does not like the hive.
Well, he thinks they're little bitches. He's like, you guys are bitches. You guys have to rely on these stupid little worms. I say as I hold my plush worm because it's so cute.
You pet it like a cat and your doctor now.
Yeah, I do. But no, like, Rolk really looks down upon the hive because they have to have a worm. Otherwise, they die in 10 years. I don't know if that's 10 fundament years or 10 Earth years. 10 years with little
I want to say they confirmed that was written, the written as like a translation, so that would be like an Earth year.
Earth year. So 10 Earth years. That's not a long time. So Rolk is kind of, like I said, Rolk just kind of looks at the hive and is like, you guys are bitches. You guys are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You guys suck.
Imagine needing to hide your death.
Exactly. Imagine needing to use a throne world and not be a Giga Chad like me and just take it like a man. Like a manly man. Have you seen my legs? I'm so manly. Like, Rolk's unhinged. He's crazy. So, like...
But I'm just thinking of the song from that one Trey Park movie. Now you're a man.
I just think of the, because Sham Shackles, they did a funny, or not Sham, Shackle. They did a very funny, video where they took the, I think it was from like the reboot of Teen Titans where it was like about legs for whatever reason. Okay. And she took that and she made it about Rolk. And it's the funniest thing I have ever seen. And it's just legs. Look at them legs. Look at them kick. Look at them legs. And it's so stupid.
You thought you'd ascend by having, arm days. No. You doubled down on leg day.
I mean, have you seen Rolk? Have you seen Rolk? Look at his leg. Like, I'm just picturing now, like, are there gonna, because, I mean, Rolk's not the only disciple, right? There's gotta be more.
He's the first.
He's the first.
I believe Savathun was one.
Savathun was
the siblings, Zivu's one.
Yeah, I think Zivu's one now. I think, because in the lore that came out with Witch Queen, Savathun was being trained to be a disciple by Rolk because Rolk kept being a bad disciple and not doing what the witness was saying. The witness said, do this, and Rolk was like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it my way, because my way's better. But I would never disrespect you, my witness. But I'm doing this like, oh my, like, the disciples, there's like, oh my god, Rolk is just so funny. I love Rolk. I think Rolk is hilarious. He's in that like a hilarious, like, you're crazy, but in like a creepy kind of, like, I don't know, I just think he's funny. Like, for me, a lot of the bosses in Destiny, the first time I see them, I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible. But then after a certain point, I'm just like, you're a joke. You're nothing. Especially Rolk, because like, I 3-manned Rolk the other day. He's a joke. He's a joke. We
weren't strong enough.
No, we just like delete. We first tried it, 3-man. We almost flawlessed it if Eric hadn't booped himself off the map like an idiot. We would have flawlessed it too. But no, that would not have given me the flawless shader, unfortunately. You have to do the entire raid, unfortunately. That's the hard part. Is I want that shader so bad, but you have to flawless the whole raid, and you can't. I don't believe you can get, if you get joining allies at all during the raid.
You get pulled forward at all?
If you get pulled forward at all, doesn't count for you anymore. Sorry.
What?
It's so you have to do like the jumping puzzles and everything else. Because like that's a new thing. That hasn't, because that's how I did it for Petra's run. No, yeah, for Flawless Last Wish, I made it through the jumping puzzle. But also, if you get no, sorry, I'm mistaken. It's not the joining allies thing. It's if you leave and rejoin for any reason whatsoever, whether you're error coded, whether you miss a jump and you have your friend alt F4 really quick to get so it doesn't count. Doesn't matter. That will not count for you. It'll count for everyone else, but not you. Which really sucks because I have to get good at jumping puzzles, and I cry.
Yes.
And I cry. I hate jumping puzzles.
Well, you have an advantage, though. I think not a lot of people do, is that your partner can literally come take the sticks and help out.
Well, yeah, but it's a problem if we're both doing the flawless, right? Then it's a problem. And I'm like, oh no. But no, I'm not bad at, like, here's my problem. I'm bad at warlock jumping, so I never use warlock for flawless. I've done flawless crown twice. I did them both on my hunter. And then for Petra's run, I did tight. I had to do tight. I had no choice. Because that was back in the day when you would do banner, shield, and tractor cannon. And no one else wanted to be tight. So I'm like, okay, I'll be tight. And I didn't mess up. I didn't die once. Actually, that's a lot. Oh, but yeah, you can't die. It's flawless. Duh. But yeah, the only raids I haven't flawless now are Deepstone and Vow. Which I need to. Because the Deepstone shader looks pretty good on certain armor. I'm like, damn, that looks pretty good. And then I look at the Vow shader. I only want the Vow shader because of my Warlock ship. If I put on my Warlock ship, it looks really pretty. That's it. That's the only reason why I want it. I don't want it for any other reason. Like, I just want to put it on my Warlock ship. That's it. I don't care about anything else. And everyone's like, but that's pointless. Yes. Exactly. That's why I'm just kind of like, meh. I'm like, if, like, hypothetically, whatever the raid is, if that raid has a very nice flawless shader, I'm gonna get the gang together and be like, guys, we gotta do it. Like, what if the reprised raid shader is super black? Like, all black? Everyone would go insane. Everyone would be like, all right, we gotta do it. Like,
I want it to be the Taken shader.
Ooh.
Because they never actually gave us a shader for that in D1. It was just the native shader on those pieces of armor.
Yes. I mean, you can kind of do the Taken shader with the Reverie Dawn armor, but you have to use the Reverie Dawn armor and use tincture.
I want to slap it on everything.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely be very cool, I think. That would get a lot of people to do the flawless raid, though. Like, everyone would. Everyone would be like, I'm doing it. I wonder how that would interact, though, with, like, certain... I'm not sure how that would work. I mean, that sounds really cool. I'm like, that sounds dope. I want it. But I have no idea how that would work. Sounds cool. But yeah.
I would... I'm not sure how it would work either, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things. If it's something that's that popular, there's going to be like
those
9 different versions of how to do it, like within like 2 weeks. You'd have like 8 different different like video methods, like ready to show. Like, oh, if you suck it this way, it's okay. Just do it this way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just, I guess, worried for whatever the reprised raid is. If I don't know, if the community won't like it. Like, what if the raid comes out and everyone's like, oh, this sucks. It's poop.
Rewinding just a little bit.
Yes.
Yo, Callus won. Callus did
by the end
everything.
Of it, Callus
he
won.
accomplished his goal.
Whether do you think he's a disciple now or no?
Well, now I'm starting to think that he's doing it all, like, in a way, he might be the most disciple of any disciple candidate because he's saying, fuck you to the witness. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes me wonder because I think there's a reason when and it's not just to reuse resources or tie up loose ends. I think there's a reason he had to go for that one, because there were easier ones to get to that if he was actually on the side of the darkness would have been easier. Now there's certainly an argument that maybe he was given instruction to go get that one because taking is part of it. I'm here for that too. You aren't just given stuff from this guy. But there's a reason he had to go to the one that was closest to the Traveler. And to round back off what got us talking about King's Fall, I do think that one belonged to Crota once upon a time, because or maybe was intended by Crota or something, because I think Crota knew about it because that's how Hashladun knew about it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason she was worshiping it and not doing hive stuff like go for power. So I think that's worth knowing, because there's a lot to Crota that I think we kind of take for granted, because he became one of like the easier kind of joke raids in D1. But keep in mind that dude was thrown through a Vex gate and carved his way back through time, and just kind of like it's like Oryx threw him in the gate, and then like a few minutes later he's walking through the front door like, well, that was a bitch move.
Yeah.
But I'm back. It's cool. Like, I'm older than you are now, but that's fine. Like, because he got, I guess, actually, I don't even think he had like that. I bet when he got thrown through the gate, he was just like, cowabunga it is. And like, just decided to wreck the Vex for an eternity. Because that's not too, if you think about it, that's not too different than what happened to Saint. He's got trapped in the Vex network for an eternity. And eventually he would have had to give up or run out of light, but not Crota. Crota's like, let's do this, and like just wins, just overpowers them, and eventually gets out. So yeah, wild and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Lucy? What are some of your final thoughts on
this season?
On this? Yeah, because I think it just leads me into things to come. I don't think the reprised raid is going to have to do with the story, though.
No. I don't understand where people are getting that from, TBH. Like, are they saying that because Season of the Splicer had, like, some Vex theme to it, and Vogue came back, which is a Vex raid? Is that literally why?
Even though they had no, like,
they had
story
no
connection.
relation, no story, no nothing, and I'm very much, confused as to why. I feel like people are just grasping at straws, basically. Like, it has to be like the crazy conspiracy theory people that have like all of those stuff on the wall, but like it has to be this raid because that's all they can see it as. Whatever the raid is, I'm sure people will be happy. I'd like to think so, at least.
I can dig it. I think that makes sense. People don't get hype because they're going to hate something. Get hype because they're excited about it, because they want to have the good time. So I agree. I think however it comes back. But I also agree, like, I don't think it's going to be part of the story. It's coming out of the vault. It's a vaulted thing. Like, that's not... We're not going back to do it again canonically. It's just we're revisiting something they made before that they're remaking for us again. I really agree with that. So final thoughts on, do you think Callus is a disciple?
I mean,
based on what happened, do you think it or is he just out for himself?
I think he's trying really, 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 really hard to get a senpai witness to notice him. And he's doing whatever he can. Even if that means owning a pyramid now, I guess? Question mark? Like, I don't know. Is that his?
To throw down the down payment?
Is he like, well, this is an abandoned pyramid, it's mine now. But is it really abandoned? Because, I mean, the security system, which is the nightmares, seem to be working.
That's an interesting one, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's an inherent power, almost like a power of regret.
Yeah.
That comes with that ship specifically. Ooh, that's interesting.
Because Eris did say that the pyramid neck, like that, the nightmares are like a security thing, and why would I'm just saying, why would a security thing be active for a pyramid if maybe the owner's not home?
That's
maybe they're doing who knows what, and they're not home. So Callus is taking this pyramid, and he's like, "This is mine now." Then the real owner of the pyramid knocks up and says, "Who the fuck are you, and why are you in my house?"
And then that guy accidentally breathes in a fungus.
Uh-oh.
And it's over. It's over, Brock. That's an interesting thought. I kind of forgot about. Because that makes sense, too. If it's a security system going off, I believe that security system was first tripped by Hash-Ladoon, not us.
Yeah.
And if Hash-Ladoon and those Hive were worshipping it, why did it go off?
Exactly.
Then again, those Red Hive, they seem to coexist with the Nightmares. So what did they know if they weren't in control of the ship that we don't?
The mystery continues.
It just gets deeper the more I go into.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh no.
I'm starting to wonder. I think you're right. I think we might run into whoever that is supposed to belong to, if we haven't already.
I think it's Crota. It's Crota's pyramid. It makes sense. Yeah? I mean, it's
the Crotamid.
It's Crota's pyramid now. The Nightmares are what's left. Maybe the owner's dead. I don't know.
I mean, he has been, for multiple people, us included, a manifest nightmare from there.
Yep.
Additionally, he was described as a nightmare before
alive.
He died. Yeah. Like a wraith of the battlefield, just kind of like tearing through literally everyone, and the more they fight against him, the stronger he becomes.
Almost like Xivu Wrath.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone shits on Crota, but I gotta tell you, I feel like with something like, for someone like the Witness, for someone like the Darkness, for someone like trying to find the final shape, for all his simplicity, I feel like that might be the best thing he had going for him. Like, simpler is better. He's not trying to get to the end complicated. He's just going to literally hit it with his sword till he's the last thing, or whatever's left looks like him. Similarly to Xivu Arath, who uses war, did we ever consider how, what Crota embodied? I was starting to think maybe it was fear. The way he would crash through, the way he would terrify generations of Guardians, the way he would, cut through, way more Guardians than who eventually took him down. Like it was nothing. In the shadow of the Traveler. Well, adjacent to the shadow of the Traveler. To the point that where Guardians and the Tower in the last city were like, okay, so we're just not going to the moons anymore. That's his now. That is his moon, and we're just not going to go to the moon. And then in D1, 10 minutes after you get up, your own ghost, rip Dinklebot, but that Hive Wizard came from the moon, oh shit. That's where the fucking, super dangerous, don't fuck around Hive Wizards come from. If all he really did for most of the City Age, most of the post-collapse, was sit on the moon and not really do much of anything, I think it makes completely perfect sense that he was just sitting there living off of things that were scared of him. He didn't need to fight him. It's the same damn thing. If you're scared of him to the point that he terrifies you, he's already won. You're going to give up without him trying. It's just a different way of fighting.
Yeah, he is the Eater of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And when there is no hope, what is left but fear? Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. And what is fear but the nightmares? It's all coming together.
And fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Yeah.
Hate leads to the dark side.
Okay, Palpatine. But yeah, no. I think that's great. But yeah, it's all good.
I think that'll be the one for me.
Indeed.
All right. So Lizzie, you got any shout outs this week?
Any shout outs? I don't know. Shout out to... Yes, I do have a shout out. I do, actually. I have a very cute, awesome shout out. So, my homie, I'm going to shout out to my homie Halo. My homie Kevin. Because through the power of friendship and money, he has an Xbox again. So basically what happened is his brother, he had an Xbox, but it actually was his brother's Xbox, and his brother moved out, took the Xbox with him, and that was like pretty close after like Witch Queen came out that happened. So he didn't really have an Xbox, and he couldn't really do anything, and he was really sad. So I hatched together a crazy plan, and he got an Xbox, and he got it yesterday, and we did a raid yesterday and everything, and it was so nice just being back with the homies, with my friends. Shout out to my friends for being homies, and
it's Fire Team Velveeta.
Fire Team Velveeta, yes, named after the cheese because we like cheese. We're very cheesy.
I like it.
I can make cheese puns all day.
I did.
You got any shout outs?
Yeah. Mine's one that was just you might, by the time this is released, you might have seen it in the news, but mine's one that kind of just came across my news scroll while we were getting ready to record. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to Nichelle Nichols, who passed away. She's the original actor who played Uhura on the original series Star Trek. She's been inspirational for Americans and people all over the world, and really laid the groundwork of showing us how we could be better and a future that could be full of hope for humanity. So she'll be missed. Yeah, she passed away at 89, but with someone like that, it's like there's never enough time, right? Never enough. So, shout out to her work, and to everything that she helped inspire.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, everyone, hey, take care of yourself. It's still hot as fuck out there.
Yep. Hydrate before you dehydrate.
Yeah. It is not ending anytime soon. Protect yourself. Hydrate. Remember that when you're sweating a lot, you're losing salt too. So, however you get that back in you, whether it's electrolytes or however you want to do that, you're losing more than just water. So make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure that your body's temperate as it's going to be. And yeah, you matter, and we want to see you back here next week. So, yeah, be safe. Bye-bye.
Toodles. That's off, Guardians. That's it for this week's discussion. Have any questions or comments about this episode? You can reach out to us on Twitter @SpinfoilTheory, or write us an email at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you'd like to read our show notes, check out articles, listen to past episodes, and more, be sure to pay us a visit over at our website, spinfoiltheory.com.
The Lore Network.